Hey, language learners and explorers. This today I'm gonna show you the five main goals of world language, and we call them the five C's. Okay, let's do an overview of the five C's. Number one, we have communication. That means talking to people. Number two, we have cultures. That's learning about traditions. Number three, connections. That's using the language in other subjects like science or math. Number four, comparisons. That's seeing how your language is different from the new one. And communities, using the language outside of the classroom. Here's another overview with pictures. So let me read. We have connections. In the middle, using the language in other subjects like science or math, we have comparisons, that's seeing how our language is different from the new one. We have communication, of course, that's talking to people. We have cultures, learning about traditions. And the last one, communities, which is using the language outside of the classroom. So let's start with communication. Communication means understanding the listening and reading. Communication means talking with others, also known as interpersonal. And communication also means giving a report, also known as presentational. So here's an example or a question scenario. Communication remembers talking, writing, and listening. So your teacher wants you to write about your dream home. Which C is this? The answer is presentation communication. You're presenting your ideas in writing, and that is communication. Another communication question. To practice giving a speech, your teacher asks you to deliver a short, scripted presentation. Which skill are you practicing? Presentational speaking skills is your answer. You're presenting a talk to listeners. Continue with communication. You answer a question with just a few words, like tomorrow by car. Your teacher repeats your answer and then asks for more details. What C is she using? Interpersonal communication is your answer. She's modeling how to have a back and forth conversation, not just giving a one word answer. Last one about communication. Here's another scenario. Your teacher puts you in pairs to work together. What is she helping you with? The answer is interpersonal communication, which is all about two-way communication, like talking with the partner. Let's move on to the next C's, which is connections. That means language meets other subjects. Notice the picture. Connections is when you use your new language to learn things in other subjects like history, science, or geography. Here's a scenario for connections. Your language teacher and your history teacher team up to teach a unit about French in the American Revolution. We'll see. Are they using connections? They are linking the foreign language to a different subject, history. For study abroad trip, you research online about the destination city, including maps, transportation, and activities. What C is that? Connections as you answer. You are acquiring new information like geography and city planning using the language and technology. Remember, acquiring new information is connections. You give a presentation about a foreign country's political parties before an election. What C does this use? Connections. You are furthering your knowledge of other disciplines like political science or history through Spanish, aka foreign language. Let's move on to the next C. We have cultures and comparisons. Okay, so Part of the cultures part is to know what practices means. Practices means things people do of a culture. So notice the picture. So it's things people do like playing games, the way people dress, the way people, what are they doing? Playing music, dancing, things people do in their cultures. Now we need to figure out products. What products means. These are things people make. Okay? It can be music, make shoes. What else do they have? Art, anything that culture can make. So cultures and comparisons, this part means comparisons is when you look at how the new culture or language is different from your own. So you're comparing both. Cultures and comparisons, which is don't forget, it's practices, products, and the differences. So here's a scenario. You learn and sing songs and play games that are traditionally used by children in the target language country. What C is this? Of course, it's cultures. The songs and games are products of the culture. You role play introducing yourself to different people using formal and informal ways of saying hello, like saying tú versus usted in Spanish. What are you learning about? Culturas. The level of formality is a product and an attitude, which is perspective of the culture. You interview your classmates about their school and then watch a video of students in the target country answer the same questions. What is the goal? Answer: comparisons. You're making a comparison between your own school system and the target culture system. Um, Cultures and comparisons, practices, products, and differences. You use a sports analogy from your own language, like scoring a goal while playing a game in the target language. What C is this? It's language comparison. You are comparing how things are said in your native language versus the new one, aka code switching. Communities, using language outside of class. Communities means using the language for fun or to learn things outside of the classroom walls. Communities, using language outside the class. So, your teacher invites musicians who speak the target language to visit the class and answer questions. What is the teacher promoting? It's communities. They are involving people from outside the classroom. Again, communities using language outside the class. You complete service projects at the local target language culture center. What C are you meeting? And it's of course communities. You're using language, Spanish, outside of class in the real world. Another communities, you learned about foreign artists in class, and now you decide to visit a local art exhibition for fun. What C does this show? Lifelong, lifelong learning, a goal closely tied to communities. You're using the language for personal enjoyment and enrichment outside of school. Now, let's move on to the last section of the video, which is taking a little quiz. You ready? Your teacher asks you to interview a classmate about their weekend plans. What C is this? It's communication, aka the interpersonal part. Interpersonal means two-way, back and forth, speaking like an interview or conversation. Another one, your class reads about famous painters from the target culture, and later you decide to go to your local art museum to see one of their works. Which C does this show? Remember, it's communities, lifelong learning. When you use the language or culture outside of class for fun, like going to the museum, you're showing you'll be a lifelong learner. The Spanish teacher and the math teacher worked together on a project to calculate the altitude and geographic points of a famous South American map. Which C are you using? B. Connections. Knowledge of other disciplines. This is when you connect the language class to other disciplines like math and geography. You have given a short speech, without reading from the script, about why studying a foreign language is important. What type of communication is this? It is presentational. This is when you present information to an audience of listeners or readers, like giving a speech or writing a report. Your teacher tells you to notice the differences between using formal, you, like usted, and when speaking to an adult, the informal, like you tú, when speaking to a friend. Which C are you learning about? Your answer is cultures, practices, and perspectives. The way people show respect or formality, the how, are culture practices. So awesome work. Thank you for listening and studying with me. Remember, a language class is about getting students ready to participate in the world. That's the main goal of the 5 Cs, to prepare students to participate in multilingual communities. Keep studying.